Snap back. There's the fade. There's DeMarco double team. Touchdown Aztecs. How did he catch that ball?
I'm in.
He breaks a tackle. He's gone. He's gone. Touchdown Aztecs.
I'm in.
Now being rushed. Now being hit. Now being dropped. 10-yard sack.
We're in.
I'm in.
I'm in this.
You know, we started the second half last weekend and were able to win the football game down in Albuquerque, and now we've got a tough test with a Wyoming team that's played as good a football schedule as anybody in the country. When you look at, I think their opponents are 42-18 or something like that, and Dave does a great job. His staff is a really good staff, and they always have a good plan, and it will be a tough test for us. We've got to have a great week of practice. You know, I like how our team has traveled to this point, but anytime you go on the road in conference, I think, you know, it's always tough. So we've got a lot to do this week to prepare ourselves for a 60-minute football game. Well, I think there's a lot of similarities. I mean, obviously it's a different team and different, you know, the whole structure and all that is different. But, you know, they've played, I think there's 4 teams or 3 teams that are in the top 25 and or were at one time, you know, more than that. And, you know, they played a lot of really good football teams. You know, Toledo in the MAC, I think, is 5-3, and playing at Toledo is not easy. And Toledo's got a good football team, so they've had the meat of their schedule. You know, they've you know, got after it.
Looking at those games, I mean, Boise State, TCU, Utah, obviously they've cleared 3 of the top 10 teams in the country. The composite in those games, it looks like it's 127-12. When you're, from the coaching standpoint, when you're taking on those super tough teams, what can you pull as a positive out of that? What can the Wyoming team pull out as a positive to face you when they get beat by lopsided scores?
Well, I think there's always positives. I think, you know, win or lose, you're going to have positives that happen in each and every game. And it might be one player really improving at a fundamental or a technique and you know, things that his execution was better, and so that's a positive. You know, they're all teachable moments that you have to take advantage of, win or lose. So, and like I said, Dave is a good football coach. I've known Dave for a long time, and you know, he does a great job with his team. He you know, does a great job of motivating them, and you know, and being on the other side of that, you know, we've had some years where we've played guys that, you know, Auburn, Iowa, and Boston College in a three road stretch once. So they've bounced back pretty well.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Brandon Sullivan, his transition from to fullback rather, and kind of the impact that that's had on the overall rushing game?
Well, I think it's been a great plus for us, and I think, you know, when we approach Brandon about that, you know, he's been nothing but positive. I think Al has done some really good things within the offense, putting in some flat backs or split backs and taking advantage of what Brandon can do from a running the ball standpoint and his blocking and catching the ball out of the backfield. And then I think the other part of it is, you know, last week we had to make the transition back to tailback, and I thought in the second half he really did a nice job of sticking his foot in the ground and going up the field and getting some positive yards. And, you know, he's kind of an unsung hero from the standpoint of the multiple things that he does. You know, he's our personal protector on punt, and then he's on our kickoff return team, and does a really good job in all those areas.
How instrumental would you say he's been in the success and the development of Ronnie Hillman?
Well, I think, you know, their relationship's a very good relationship, and I think Brandon, you know, through his maturation here, probably sees a little bit of how Ronnie is in growing and all that. So I think it's been real good.
Do you have an update on Ronnie?
No more than I know. I mean, he'll practice today and do all that kind of stuff.
So you'd say he's probably going to play on Saturday?
I'd be shocked if he didn't.
Coach, this is the, I think, 5th spread team you've played so far this year. Obviously, each team brings their own wrinkle. But does it make it a little easier to prep, knowing that you've seen the base formations a little bit for previous times?
Well, Kevin, I think you kind of answered that. They're all different. I mean, they do a lot with different formations up front. They'll go tackle over a lot. They'll get into some jumbo looks with multiple tight ends. They're a little different than some of those other teams have been in some ways. I mean, some of the base plays are there, but with how they personnel group it is a little different, and how they formate out of those personnel groups are different.
How happy are you with your kids, the fact that the Air Force win, big win, but it seems they put it aside and got straight to Mexico? I mean, it's in past where the lull of 18, 19-year-old kids, they might look past and say, hey, content with we won last week, we should win this week. How happy are you? Kids?
I think our seniors have done a really good job of keeping the steadiness of our team, I guess, and keep the attitude of the team. I think, the assistant coaches have done a great job in their units of really, what's important now, and the present, and how present it is, how precious it is for how we want to play, and our goals and our expectations. So I like our team. I like, to this point, how they've reacted, how they've traveled, how they've gone to work every day, and so, we've got to continue to do that. We've got to continue to pay attention to all the details of what we have to do and our execution.
I know in the summer, finishing was a huge theme for you guys and the coaching staff. I'm sure that the Wyoming tape from last year was one of your coaching tools, given what happened in the fourth quarter of that game. What has been the message you've imparted to the team?
Well, really, we'll talk about it very little. We did on Sunday, but, we're a different team. Now, we wanted to finish last year, so, that message has been here since we got here, that we got to finish and we got to be aggressive in how we finish and all those things, and that's kind of what ticks you off about last week. We had a chance to salt the game away with our offense on the field and didn't do it. And then defensively, we have an 83-yard drive or whatever it was that took time off the clock, and you had a little bit to play with. Now, there were 2 penalties that helped that drive, but, I mean, I just think that's something that we've got to continue to embrace those situations.
Coach, I know drops were an issue last week on both sides of the ball. Is that something?
Say, I couldn't hear you.
Drops were an issue on both sides of the ball, linebackers and receivers.
Yeah, we had some opportunities.
How do you coach something like that up other than say catch the ball?
Well, I mean, these guys have been playing the game for a long time, and I think sometimes your poise and your composure, aren't what they should be. I'm not going to speak for him, but Barksdale, I'm sure he's thinking, man, I'm going to catch this and get in the end zone. And, you got to remember what's first, and that's catching it, So, I think, that they, will take care of themselves. I mean, DeMarco struggled with a couple balls, but then he makes, the catch at the end of the first half, which is a guy going up high with strong hands and focusing in with bodies around him. So, it's not like he doesn't catch the ball well.
Are those drops more forgivable from linebackers than from wide receivers?
Well, I don't know. I'd like to think so. I think I led Mac and passes broken up because I couldn't catch it. So, but no, you want to take advantage. We want to score on defense.
Sure.
We have not done that, and we want to score on defense. So we take them all pretty, personal. Let's put it that way.
Austin Carter-Samuels.
I'm still trying to find him from last year. He's running all over still. I mean, that kid can And he's got the unique ability to, as he scrambles, find open receivers and throw the ball on the run. And he's a definite threat.
Will you spy him? What's the plan?
I don't know, Ed.
Any other
We're
questions?
going to have 11 guys on the field playing defense.
Coach, is being bowl eligible one of the goals you'd like to get
No.
off your checklist?
Nope. What's our goal and expectations and what we're working for is to win the Mountain West Conference Championship. If we don't do that, we have not succeeded.